Thank you very, very much for your time because you're a occupied man and we're here for 2 days already. Happy to meet you. Thanks to Iris who wrote the book. And, we would just love to make some promotion for your pyramids here in Bosnia. And we would like to hear a little bit the story of Dr. Sam. Everybody calls you Dr. Sam, but you're also known as the Indiana Jones of Bosnia. But please tell us a little bit of who you are and how you became what you're now today.
First of all, thank you for coming to Bosnia. And secondly, in the last 19 years, I've been running the most active archaeological site in the world, the Bosnian Pyramid Project. And when you ask me about myself, it's a classical question. Who am I? Well, of course, we are all, whether we admit that or no, we are all three entities. The first one is our physical being. Physical being coming with emotional aspect, intellectual aspect, energy aspect. We are people with the names, careers, families, and so on. Secondly, we are our souls. Souls are right here. And souls go through many different life experiences. And number three, we are the spirits also. Every one of us has a divine light, which is protected by our soul. So physical, soul, and spiritual aspect. Of course, you're asking about the first one, who is Dr. Semir Osmanagic. I've been researching pyramids and megalithic sites for more than 40 years on all 6 continents. Behind me, there are 20 books, mostly about the ancient civilizations and more specifically pyramids. And back in 2005, at that time I lived in Houston, Texas, I came to this town of Visoko to visit the local museum. But what really caught my attention was this, everybody called it natural hill, because it was covered in forest and bushes. But I was looking at its geometry, its perfect 4-sided pyramid, 4 triangular faces and 4 corners, same slope from bottom to the top. At the time, I took a compass and it showed me that this side is oriented to the cardinal points, east, west, north, and south. But the first year, 2005, I got permission as the physical person to do some preliminary research, which I did. I found a lot of anomalies. I wrote the first book about the discovery, and I announced the news to the world at the press conference in October of 2005 about the discovery of the first European pyramid, the Bosnian Pyramid, Pyramid, Moon, Pharaoh, Dragon, Earth, and the 6th pyramid. And indeed, the 20 years of the archaeological and scientific research produced a complex of at least 6 pyramids, the 2 tumuli, tumulus phenomenon, of course, the artificial conical hills, and a huge network of underground tunnels. We're talking about the tunnels built in prehistorical times. We have discovered entrances to 7 of them, cleared 3.5 kilometers, but we suspect that there are at least 100 kilometers under the ground at several levels. We discovered entrances to 2 levels, most probably we have 5, 6, maybe even 7. So archaeologically speaking, this is a huge project, and I've been running this project. But also scientifically speaking, this has become a major discovery, because we are proving that pyramids are actually not built for one dead body, king or the pharaoh. They've been programming us in schools that pyramids in Egypt are tombs for the pharaohs. And in fact, out of 155 pyramids in Egypt, and I have visited and investigated all of them, not a single mummy. So where the pharaohs were buried, in the Valley of Kings, 600 kilometers to the south, near Luxor and Karnak, Thebes, Memphis, the capital of pharaonic Egypt, Abydos, and Dera, not in the pyramids. So in the 21st century, we actually need to use science to prove who really built Egyptian pyramids, when they were built, how they were built, and what was their purpose. Well, guess what? Here in Bosnia, we actually have done more progress in less than 2 decades than Egyptologists in the last 2 centuries. Why? Because archaeologists and Egyptologists there jealously guard their sites. In our case, we have opened the project for classical sciences, of course, archaeology, geology, paleontology, biology, plus high-tech methods like geothermal, satellite, georadar analysis, plus different forms of the dating, radiocarbon dating, luminescence analysis, uranium-thorium analysis, and experts in energy phenomena have been coming here. Teams from different countries, physicists, electrical engineers, sound engineers, telecommunication engineers, medical doctors, people with the instruments, and they measure. If you can measure, you can scientifically prove. So, what is our conclusion after 20 years? Besides huge archaeological discovery, we have proven that pyramids actually amplify existing natural energy sources. Below the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun, huge iron plate. Iron generates electromagnetic field. The pyramid amplifies it. How do we know that? Because we have measured at the base and at the top. At the top, the signal is 50 times stronger. Second one, under the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun, we have underground water flow. What moves releases negative ions. Pyramid amplifies the concentration of negative ions. How do we know? Because we've been measuring almost on a daily basis. In the tunnels, we have highest concentration of beneficial negative ions. Then, under the pyramid, second underground water flow. Between the two, we have the charge, resistance, voltage, and electricity. The pyramid pulls this electricity up. It goes through 7 levels of passageways that are like a spiral of the pyramid, going to the very top as the energy beam, which is measurable. Electrical in nature, 28 kilohertz frequency. It is continuous, spring, summer, fall, winter. So what we have here is actually very sophisticated concept of energy amplifiers. So shortly, pyramids are energy machine. This is who I am. I'm the guy who's simply running a very important project. So right now I was talking about archaeology and science.
Science is there when you can measure, you can prove.
Yes.
But the contradiction is that we in the world don't almost not know about this.
Yes and no. This is a huge discovery that revolutionary change the narrative about the pyramids. You know, they've been telling us pyramids only Egypt and Mexico. No, they're built on all 6 continents in more than 30 countries. Secondly, Egyptian pyramids, tombs for pharaohs. Wrong. They were not built for dead people, but for the living communities. And I'll explain that. And then, you know, they are telling us, you know, if it is something from the past, if it is tombs, then there is not much need to research. If we realize that pyramid generates certain very specific frequencies, the energy that is very beneficial, then you can use it even today. And then, first of all, energy being going to the top of the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun, it goes quicker as it moves away from the pyramid. In science, it is called scalar waves. Nikola Tesla, genius mind from 125 years ago, he was investigating this phenomenon. 50 years, Russian physicist, and they've been proving that scalar waves move quicker than the speed of light. So the first potential purpose of pyramids, communication very long distances. The second one, people go to the tunnels, they feel well. Deeper they go, they breathe better and better. So it's not very logical, but nothing in Bosnia is logical. People with the respiratory problems, they breathe so well that if they have asthma after 3-4 times, they don't need air pump. People with a high blood pressure, it gets normalized. People with a high sugar in the blood, it drops after 1 visit. People with the very serious diseases, they show a revolutionary change in their health. So our conclusion, the second purpose of pyramid energy, to protect what is the most valuable, most precious in our life, and that would be our health. Number 3, it improves the molecular structure of the water, because we have found 5 times with the water. Compared to our water, it is superior. Our water is treated by chloride, it's poison. By the fluoride, in some countries, it's a poison. We have traces of heavy metals, we have traces of plastic. The water that we drink is energetically dead, and we are what we drink. The water from the tunnels, it vibrates high, it's structured water. Number 4, the pyramid energy improves the molecular structure of the food. Number 5, it improves our immunity. Number 6, it develops our spiritual senses. So you see how many important aspects the pyramid energy affects. So this is so important that it's going to affect the pharmaceutical industry,
The whole world.
physics, astronomy, dating, history, everything. And of course, it is not in the interest of the elites. Why am I saying that? Who's writing history? Not good intentional historians or scientists, but the elites. Because those who control the history control our present and future. And these are monsters who call themselves elites because they want us to think that we are, in the last few thousand years, the first civilization. Everything before that, primitive caveman. So if we are still in the infantile phase, if we are still babies as a civilization, babies need a lead. They need supervision. Who's the supervisor? Corporate, financial, political, religious elites. Wrong. Next important thing, spirituality. When I was younger, they taught me in the school that spirituality is, religions. And religions is one. Faith is another. Spirituality for me is the development of spiritual senses. We based our world on physical senses. We have 5 physical senses. We can see, we can hear, we can taste, we can smell, and we can touch. But our physical senses are so limited. For example, what we can see those 7 colors, vibrations of red color, which is the lowest, and then orange and yellow and green and blue, and indigo and violet. Of course, those colors have been kidnapped today by LGBTIQ movement. It's on their flag. But this is scientific fact. This is what we see. And this is less than 1% of all the frequencies in the universe. So we see less than 1%. We hear less than 1%. What we hear, 20 hertz, 20 kilohertz. We don't hear 25 or 50 kilohertz. It's called ultrasound. Megahertz, we don't hear. Gigahertz, we don't hear. Infrasound, we don't hear. Very deep sounds, 10 hertz, 5 hertz. So what we hear, less than 1%. So we create our physical aspect, our physical world based on physical senses. But we have also 30 spiritual senses. In the tunnels, we have noticed that after a while, we can start feeling the energy. That's not physical, that's spiritual sense. And we have 30 spiritual senses. We can feel the energy. We can see the colors, the auric fields. That's spiritual sense. We can see chakras. We can exchange our thoughts. Telepathy is a physical sense. Somebody is teaching us. We can move the objects with the power of our mind. Telekinesis is the spiritual sense. We can move through space and time, whether it is astral projections or teleportation, spiritual sense. Imagine that we develop our spiritual senses. So we realize that we can move through space and time. Then we ask ourselves, hey, yes, who are we? Who am I? But my physical body is laying on the couch and I'm going through space. I'm going 2,000 years in the back to see Cleopatra, for example, to see if she was really the most beautiful ever.
I doubt it.
So then we realize, hey, I'm something else. This is my soul. So if I'm soul, obviously I'm indestructible. I have no limits. And that's exactly the definition of the freedom. No limits. So once we develop our true spirituality, then we become aware that beings without the limits goes through so many different life experiences, have no reason to fear. And look at our lives. First of all, they keep us in our physical aspect. If somebody has maybe kids, some gifts, some spiritual abilities, society is laughing at them. Media, education system, even parents, they give them pills. So imagine that we develop our spiritual abilities, that we become free.
Yes.
Then we would realize, hey, politics and politicians, who cares about them? They are irrelevant.
We're not
And-
controllable anymore.
And then without the sheep, politicians would realize, yes, nobody's there to follow them. So politics would become what's supposed to be a service to us people. So the question of spirituality is so important. And I know you asked me about how many people heard about this, but once you realize how many aspects we are bringing new to the surface, then I'm aware why we have become a danger for those elites. And they own mainstream media, they own education, they own institutes for archaeology, history, and they're all against us. You know, when you see European Archaeological Association writing, pamphlets against us, when you see leading British, French, German, Polish archaeologists, American anthropologists, geologists, when you see Zahi Hawass from Egypt, everybody against Bosnian pyramids. There is something that very, very important globally. Otherwise, we are spending our own money. These are remote Bosnian hills. Why should they care? No, they want to start. They do everything qualified us as pseudo archaeological projects, pseudo historical projects. And that's one of the reasons why not so many people hear about us. But look at the numbers. 2008, we had 10,000 visitors, which we invited, people came. 2018, 40,000. 2023, 195,000. 2024, this year, we are in the middle of summer 2024, we estimate 250,000 people. So more and more people come. People come, they love it, they come again. They bring their friends, they bring their families, they start bringing the groups. So this is a special place. Besides archaeology and science and energy aspect and spiritual aspect and healing aspect, we started building this place also as the culture oasis. We purchased about 100,000 square meters of muddy, swampy land, garbage everywhere. We clean all of that, clear. We started planting, we started building different installations. And now that place is really oasis of culture and art and sport and serenity and spiritual peace and no discrimination during the corona times, 2020, 21, 22. We're open for everyone. Masks, no masks. Vaccinated, no vaccinated. Corona, coughing, no cough. Everybody was welcome. Not so many places around this planet like that. In Europe, maybe we are the only one. So try to keep that reputation that we are open for everyone. And it's even more than that. The new Western values, as they call them, of transhumanism, upgraded human with the biochip under our skin, full control 24 hours a day through our mobile phones, through smart TVs, through smart cars, through smart cities, through cameras, face recognition, through digital money, through junk, GMO, food crap, through poisoned water. This is what they think our future should be. We are saying no. We are saying the future of humanity is in harmony among us, people, not social distance. Social distance means every man is your potential enemy. Harmony among us, people, and harmony in the nature.
I had so many questions in my head. One thing I wanted to say is that if you have discovered these pyramids, this must have given you as a person, yourself, such a boost. And this boost, I think, has given a turn in your life, and you are doing such wonderful things with it. The boost is everywhere here. You are so reachable for everybody. that's because you want to spread the word. And I think that's what
That's
we
why
are
I'm
trying
late.
to do.
So I try to go there, it's like 15, 20 minutes.
But still, you are reachable. That's because everybody can talk to you. And I think that's just the thing. We also, as a podcast in Belgium, want to spread and do this because we had such an agreeable time here.
Yes,
We
wonderful.
felt the energy, and that's the basic. What you just said is what we all need to feel in the world.
Yes. What we really love is that people come, they're open-minded, they come and they love the place. There is no one here to tell you, hey, you need to think this way. It's up to you what you're going to think, you filter information. As far as my own experience, when I started writing books, in my teenage ages, in my 20s, first books, I write the book, I think there are so many things wrong in the world, and this is how we're going to change it. So I expect when people read it, everything's going to change. Nothing happened. You are not there to tell other people how they're going to live, what they're going to think, how they're going to change. This is not really the way. As I was getting older, I realized there is only one way. That is, we change ourselves. So once you change yourself, once you start thinking differently, once you find your inner peace, once you find your balance between your physical and spiritual aspect, then you become an example for other people. And then the way starts with you, with another person and other person. And this is, the waves of freedom and free thinking. So I think this is the way because we as a human beings, it's our cosmic right and our divine right to be born free. And I think we should aim freedom all our life because the moment you are born, they are telling us you can't do this, you cannot do that, the law forbids this, you cannot travel, you need to have this document, you need to. But then I think that, that's not the future of this planet. And
How do you see the future changing? Is it going to be parabolic, like you mentioned, all the numbers, the visitors only so many, then so many, then so many, and now
yes.
I hope. How do you
Well, 20 years ago, there was nothing here. This is a beautiful place. Now imagine if we have 5 or 10 places like this in little Bosnia, 20 in Serbia or Croatia, 50 in Germany and Italy, 100 in States. And we would change the world. You don't even need to wait for the governments. Now, this project is not government funded.
Yes.
It's us, it's our enthusiasm, it's our vision. It's a lot of volunteers coming every year here. So we have shown that there are other ways. This is what I think is the future. Open societies like this. We can have states, so that's fine. But simply the power should be taken for those elites who make decisions instead of us. So we need to take our destinies in our hand. And like here, I think you can feel that, hey, I feel free. I don't care what politicians are now aiming, what they want to do.
They're making it difficult for you, I heard.
Well, it was very tough, especially in the beginning. Everything. First, of course, the local archaeologists, historians, geologists, museums, Ministry of Culture, all against me. And they have, of course, very good connection with the media, so they've been attacking and attacking and attacking. But when they saw that they could not make it, then they went to other European colleagues and they were attacking it. But then, I realized if it was so easy, then I wouldn't be worth of the discovery. But, whenever you come with the new ideas, there's always resistance. Doesn't matter if you're a chemist, if you're a politician, if you're a journalist, if you're sports, there is always resistance when you come with the new ideas. People who are already there, they want to keep the status quo, they don't want changes. And bigger, discovery, in our case, in archaeology, bigger the resistance. Because for many people, this was a threat. This was a threat to their PhDs, to their professorships, to the way they teach kids in the wrong way. It's not only about the Bosnian pyramids, it's about how many things on this planet we don't know yet. We don't know about so many past civilizations. Some of them are very, very advanced. If we think that we know who built Egyptian pyramids, we are so wrong. Who built Stonehenge? Who built the first structure on Machu Picchu? Who built Yonaguni monuments near Japan on the bottom Pacific floor? And so many other places that say, hey, history is not this. History is cycle after cycle after cycle. What we can learn from them? A lot.
I think you do a very, very good job here. And I just want to ask the viewers to volunteer.
Good.
To come to spend some weeks or months or whatever possible period here.
Yeah, the volunteers are always very welcome. We organize our volunteering season from beginning of June every year. So June, July, August, September until the second half of October, almost 5 months. More information on our official website, Bosnian Pyramids.ba. Bosnian Pyramids.ba. Also, they can come and visit. I can see a lot of people from Belgium this year because I was in March in Belgium doing lectures. So people are coming and they are coming again. People from, Netherlands, many other countries, of course, 6 continents. So it's wonderful when I see them coming from there and they go even happier. I know that they're going to come back, refer us, and that's good. And if it can, create some ideas in their heads how to improve their environment, how to do something more in their lives, then I'm the happiest man.
Okay. You made us happy.
Okay.
Can I give you a hug? Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.